Doing well. I'll go ahead and give an opening statement. First of all, for us, since the season ended, it's kind of been a little disjointed. Our guys had about a few days here on campus before spring break and just getting back into the swing of things here this week. Obviously, we had our banquet last night. For us right now, with about 3 weeks left in the semester, the focus right now is making sure our guys finish strong from an academic standpoint, do the things they need to do. We did start strength and conditioning workouts again this past week, so the guys are back in a little bit of a routine there. What's unique for us as we finish up these last 3 to 4 weeks of school is for our guys, it's been really a long year with, you think about it started with our overseas trip this past summer and into this season, so we want to make sure that first and foremost, they're taking care of their responsibilities as student athletes, getting their bodies back to where they need to be. We do have a few things in terms of guys with injuries. Shannon Hale suffered an injury last week during spring break while at home where he broke a bone in his foot. He had successful surgery today. I think it's called the Jones fracture. But surgery went well today. He's probably going to be non-weight bearing for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and I would say 2-month recovery for him, but he should make a full recovery. Some other guys have issues that we're trying to deal with in terms of their health as well, just from the rigors of a season. But I don't think it'll be anything that hopefully will be anything serious. Obviously, I think you guys are probably in receipt of the releases with Carl Engstrom electing to pursue some professional options. We put that out yesterday, and then I think today there was a release regarding Algie and the decision to transfer. I think when you look at both of those situations, for Carl being here for 4 years, earning his degree, wanting and have an opportunity to continue to pursue basketball. I think he looks at it as maybe finding a situation professionally, being from Europe, where he can continue his development as a player. And we certainly are grateful for all that his contributions and what he's done, during the course of his career here, the way that he improved and progressed and helped our team. For Algie, I think probably very similar, just a situation where wanting more of an opportunity to play more consistent minutes, play a bigger role. And for these guys, you get one opportunity to be a student athlete and to enjoy, having success, on the court. So I completely understand wanting a bigger opportunity, and we certainly wish him the best of luck as well. So outside of that, I think that's pretty much an update for you in terms of the, since the season ended with our team. In regards to, I'm sure some of you probably have a question regarding Nick Jacobs' status. Nothing's really changed there. With Nick, he has resumed, the strength and conditioning workouts with our team, and still, obviously, he and I have met and talked, and I think Nick understands some of the things that we need to continue to monitor and pursue as we move forward.
Yeah, follow up on that, and then one other one, Coach. Will that be something that'll be going on through summer school? I mean, rather than us asking you about Nick every week, is that something that'll probably be?
Yeah, the thing I'd say is if there's any change, I'll definitely let you know. But for right now, there's no changes, in terms of his status and what he's doing.
And also with Carl and Algie off the roster, that puts you at 11 for next year. Are you continuing to pursue guys in the
Yeah, we're actively recruiting. Obviously we're just coming off of one of the things during this last 2 to 3 weeks that we've been off. When the season ended, I tried to meet, and I'm still in the process of getting to all of our guys, but really tried to meet with the guys that would be returning. So probably before they went on spring break, I had a chance to talk to both Algie and Carl in regards to what would be happening. So, the information obviously just got out to you guys yesterday and today, but this is something that we probably talked about a couple of weeks ago. So in the meantime, we've had an opportunity to go out and visit with some potential recruits, and certainly looking to try to add some more pieces if possible.
know, a day after the season, Bill Battle put out a statement about the program. Just would wonder what your reaction was to that and to the confidence he voiced in this program.
Well, I think anybody that's been around Coach Battle knows that he's a very, very genuine person, a very competent in terms of his understanding of what it takes to build a program. So certainly for myself and our family, we're appreciative of the support. But like we've always talked about, for me, it's about trying to get this program where it needs to be and put ourselves in position where we can compete for championships. I think that's what Coach Battle expects. That's what I expect. That's what our fans and supporters expect, as it should. So, I'm certainly appreciative of his confidence and his support. And I understand what we've got to be able to do.
Coach, with the departure of Algie and Carl, kind of unexpected, what kind of unique challenges does that present to you as a coach trying to fill those gaps?
Well, I think, when you say unexpected, obviously, like I said, this is something that for you guys is new information, for myself and our staff and our program, and I think for college basketball, this is really, not something that's off kilter. In terms of any challenges, we're going to continue to try to build the team, build a program like we just talked about in terms of compete for championships and getting where we need to be. So there's really nothing that's, I think, unique or different, from my perspective.
Just in conversations with Bill Battle, were there any expectations set out for next season of what he's hoping to see in terms of improvement? Like I said before, for me, it's about, we have high expectations for our program every year, no matter, what the situation is. So I don't think there's anything that changes there.
Do you anticipate to have the same coaching staff back this year? I know it's early in the process, but do you anticipate to have the same assistants back?
Yeah, I don't see any, at this point, if anything changes, I'll let you know.
Coach, you talked a lot towards the end of the season about evaluating the program and trying to figure out where things went wrong. Do you forecast any sort of schematic changes or any significant changes in the program going forward?
Every year, every off season, I always evaluate. I think no matter where you are as a coach, I think in any sport, whether you win your last game and you're a champion or you lose, you don't make the postseason. I think you always are in the process of trying to evaluate where you can get better. I think that's a never-ending process. So, at the end of the day, it comes down to the results, the final results. So, I guess my thing is more of when you say where things went wrong, probably on the scoreboard, the end result of a game. But you're always trying to get better. You're always trying to improve. You're always trying to see where you can get better. So, that's a process I go through every off season, and certainly this one is no different.
How much have you kept up with or followed Billy Donovan and the Gators run this season, and what do you think of their?
Yeah, I had a chance to go to Memphis last weekend and watch the Sweet 16 games there. Really happy for Coach Donovan and their team and the success that they're enjoying. Obviously, going 18-0 in conference play, being the first team to ever do that. Winning the SEC tournament, #1 overall seed, and then I think 4 straight Elite Eights and breaking through and getting to the Final Four. Just happy for him and his family, and obviously he's a dear friend, and certainly wish them the best.
Kind of along those lines, late in the season, you told us you coach them and hope they'll get it all of a sudden, right? Is that what happened to Kentucky, do you think, with their run?
Probably, yeah. That's probably a good evaluation. I think they're playing really good basketball right now. You got to give credit to Coach Cal and his staff and those players. You want to be gelling and playing your best basketball at the end of the year, and I think anybody that's watched the tournament and seen the way those guys have played, I think certainly they're playing as good as anybody in the country right now.
Just wondering what kind of relationship you've had or not had with Bruce Pearl in the past, if you guys have crossed paths, and then what kind of challenges does he present coaching against in a rival capacity in this state?
I think my first 2 years, here at Alabama, he was at Tennessee, and I think he had really good teams and a very good coach. I think obviously, his record speaks for itself. It's a new situation, just a different team. I'm sure he'll do a great job, in the role that he has there. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot else I can tell you.
After Pearl got hired at Auburn, he made a statement saying that 3 teams coming out of the SEC into the tournament is just simply not where it should be. I just want to get your take on that, and do you just agree with that?
Well, I think, yeah, that's been talked about for the last several years. I think, you look at this year's tournament, Florida gets the number 1 overall seed, and, our second place team, Kentucky gets an 8 seed, and I think the 4th place team in Tennessee, has a play-in game. And, obviously all 3 teams had success advancing to at least a Sweet 16. I think you look at, the other teams in our league that had opportunities to go to the NIT. None of them went in as a 1 seed. So I think the perception of our league, whether you feel like it's warranted or not, as coaches, we have to look at it and self-evaluate and say, yeah, our league needs to get stronger and needs to get better. And the only thing that I think each of us can do is look within. At least that's what I try to do. And how can we get better? How can we improve our teams and improve the reputation or the standing of our league? And that's what we're trying to do. And that's one of the reasons why, for us last year we played one of the top 5 non-conference schedules in the country to try to put ourselves and our league in a position where we can all elevate the reputation, the status of our league. But as always, what you have to do when you do that is you have to win. And that's what it comes down to. When you do that, obviously you improve the overall standing and reputation of your league. In spite of the troubles that we had last year in terms of the results, the win-loss record, we still finished one of the top 100 teams in the country in RPI, despite the losses. So I think for us, to do our part, we got to continue to play a competitive, extremely competitive non-conference schedule. I think, what we'll need in our league is for all of the teams to understand how we can help each other and be willing to go out and challenge ourselves. And, like I talked about, with our team a lot, as a coach, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to put ourselves out there because I understand the vision that I have. I understand where we want to take this program and what needs to happen in order for us to be able to do that. And we've got to be willing to go out and do that. So I think as a league, we have to be willing to do that. And you can argue, everybody's got their opinion, which league is the best in the country. This league gets 6 teams in, this league gets 4 teams in, or 5, and the SEC only deserves 2, 3, 4, whatever. Right now, we've got 2 teams in our league that are playing for a national championship that are in the Final 4. So it's an opportunity for all of us in the league to try to raise the level, the profile individually, and then do that collectively for our league. So, I think that's the goal every coach wants to try to accomplish.
Coach, first as a follow-up, I know you've announced, or it's been announced, that you'll be in the tournament in Kansas City with Iowa State and Arizona State, who are both in the NCAAs this year. Anything else on the next year's schedule?
We're still in the process of putting it together, but you look at some of the games that we played last year. There'll be returns on those games. We just got to finalize details of when and put the rest of the schedule together.
Go back to Wichita, right?
Yeah, we'll go out to Wichita. We'll go to Xavier. UCLA will be coming in here. South Florida will be coming in here. So there's other things that we're trying to put together. Just in terms of making it as competitive a schedule as possible for the team that we'll have.
And also, just the seniors that you will have next year, Levi, Rodney, how important are those guys in this offseason?
Well, it'd be critical offseason for those guys. We talked about this last year. I felt like it would be critical for our veterans
to really be able to step up and make that jump. And, I think it's no secret that we didn't have enough consistency this past season in that regard. So once again, I think for any team to have the type of success you want, a lot of that's going to be based on the guys that return, that have been through it. We'll have some very talented young guys that will join our program next year. I'm excited about what they bring to the table. But most of the time, it's the veterans, their leadership, their ability to take that next step as players that really make a big difference. So, for our senior class next year, for our freshmen, they got a chance, Shannon and Jimmy, they got a chance to play an awful lot this year and gain experience. What type of improvements will they make? What type of work will they put in the off season to take that next step as players? We were fortunate to have two guys in our program, and Ricky Tarrant and Mike Kessens, that got a chance to practice every day to learn the system and the way we want to play. And those guys obviously had great careers at their former schools, so their ability to come in and impact our program next year, those will be veteran guys because they've been through it for a year in terms of learning the system and whatnot. And then, obviously, as we mentioned, adding some more pieces to the team. So, yeah, I think all that plays in together.
Coach, last night you talked about not being a preacher, but you had a couple of good sound bites, and we didn't really get that. Could you elaborate a little bit on the promised land and turning the water into wine?
Yes, you're going to make me a preacher, huh? No, my message, last night was more of, just with what we, going into my 6th year here. The vision for us is to put this program in position where we're a consistent participant in the postseason in the NCAA tournament, to put ourselves in position where we can play for championships. In order to do that, obviously, whatever it was, when I was at Florida as an assistant, you consistently had 5 to 6 teams in this league that were in the NCAA tournament. If you went 9-7 in the SEC, you had a great chance of getting in the NCAA tournament. And obviously the landscape has changed. I think you can look at the last 3 or 4 years. Two of the last 4 years, I guess, we won 12 games in this league and went to the NIT. You look at a Tennessee team a couple of years ago that I think won 12 games or maybe 13 games and went to the NIT. Georgia this past year. So I think it's you look at the landscape has changed. So for us to be able to do the things that we want to do as a program, who we elect to play in the non-conference and being able to go win those games, will create those opportunities for us to play for those championships to get to the postseason. But in order to do that, we're facing really good teams. You look at, we opened the season up on a neutral site against an Oklahoma team that turned out to be a really good team. We played a team in Wichita State that went undefeated this year, and we were right there, maybe a rebound or a possession away from maybe having a different outcome. Same thing with the Xavier team that went to the NCAA tournament, going out at UCLA, and with 1 minute to go in the game, it's a one-possession game. So we've had opportunities all throughout. But sometimes what happens is when you don't get those results that you want, when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, you can kind of lose confidence, you can lose focus a little bit. Maybe that happened to us, but I'm not afraid to go out and challenge our team to go out and play those games, because I understand in order for us to get where we want, where everybody expects our program to be, we have to be willing to do that. So my comment last night was more in terms of not being afraid to face those giants. And in order to get to where we want to get to, that we've got to be willing to do that. And then we've got to be consistent in terms of our approach to what we're doing and the way we're doing, and really not worry about the distractions or the sideshow that goes along with being where we are. We can't control that. We gotta stay focused on the task at hand. And that was the comment in terms of carrying the water until the water turns to wine. So, as a coach, I'm pretty comfortable and confident in terms of who I am, why I do what I do, my vision for where I want our program to be. So, that's all I can control. I can't control anything else. So the rest of it, it's just noise. So we're going to stay focused on what we've got to do to get the program where it needs to be.
Couple more?
Coach, you talked about the noise but outside the X's and O's, or do you plan on like going on more sports shows or be more public to promote the program? One of your greatest supporters, CM Newton, even suggested you should, be more public. Any pressure to do that?
Yeah, I think one of my suggestions is that we do this about twice a day. What do you guys think? Would that be a good idea? No, I think by nature I'm probably a guy that's just worried about making sure I'm doing what I need to do. But certainly I have no issue in terms of being able to get out and be available from a media standpoint or a public standpoint. I think Coach Newton's a dear friend, and I think certainly I value everything and anything that he says in terms of how to help our program, grow our program, help with marketing our program in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, I'm always welcome to his comments, really any comments on how to help us get to where we're trying to get to as a program.
Coach, fans are getting excited next year to see Ricky come out with that red shirt being burned, especially with his accolades that he's gotten. What expectations do you have for him next season?
Well, Ricky, I think, like I said, with him and Mike having a chance to go through a season, practice, learning our system, being able to physically take advantage of that off year. I think both of them, working with our strength coach, being able to go through practice have really, I think, improved their game. So I'm excited about, Ricky and Mike, both of those guys. But, when you lose a player as talented as Trevor Relaford and what he's meant to our program over the course of his career, it's always nice to have a veteran like Ricky sitting out and being able to kind of step in and hopefully provide some of the leadership that we'll need. And, obviously, any team that's got a chance to be a good team, it's going to be, you're going to need multiple guys to step up. So I wouldn't want to try to paint Ricky as a guy that's a savior or expect him to come in and do the same, more, less, or whatever than Trevor did. I think every team kind of makes itself as you go through that process. But I think just with the experience that he brings, having played college basketball for 2 years and what he's been able to accomplish over a 2-year period, and what I've seen out of practice, I'm excited about getting him started and along with Mike and the newcomers that'll be coming joining our team here in the off season.
Last question.
You said winning will take care of a lot of the issues. Toward that end, what is job one toward more winning for your program?
Same thing I talked to you guys about all along. We have to get better. I think when you look at, last year is last year, and obviously there'll be different challenges as we move forward, some under your control, some not under your control. But I think for me, it's about how do we go about getting better individually, collectively, mentally, physically. So that's a part of the process of the off season. No matter whether you ended your season with a loss or you went all the way and you won the last game, you got to always think of how you can get better. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. And I think that's the thing I told you guys during the course of the season as we were going through, that my challenge to our team is let's control what we can control. Let's try to get better every day. And I feel like our guys, we tried to do that. We didn't always get the results that we wanted at the end of the game, but, I think you can look at, over the course of the season, despite the adversity that we went through, we continue to try to do that. So that's going to be the same thing, here in the off season. I think individually, guys understanding, what they've got to do to become the best they can be, and you know, collectively as a team, understanding what we have to do to become the best team we can be.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.